Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here. We're delighted to have the governor here with us today. We also have the Commissioner of Corrections here, Commissioner Semple, Commissioner of Labor, Commissioner Jackson, both of them first name Scott, I just realized, two Scotts. We also have Mr. Ralph Monte here, Governor, and you might recognize Ralph. I brought Ralph here because Ralph owns and operates 3 halfway houses here in Waterbury. And he's been a landlord that we've been grateful to work with and helped us identify through his programs people that would be willing to participate in our programs. So what these programs represent here are people who are in the reentry people, second chance society that the governor loves to refer to, and I do as well. And we're very proud to have these programs in place. These are brand new programs. We've been operating here for 2 years, but quite frankly, we've been working the kinks out along the way. Without the cooperation of Department of Corrections, specifically Commissioner Semple, we wouldn't be able to run these programs with the success rate that we have. So we started a couple years ago with the concepts. We worked closely with Commissioner Semple over the last year. We have, in the past, we had a program for 4 offenders who were housed in Enfield Correctional Center. Commissioner Semple arranged for them to have them transported down here for our 15-week, 240-hour program. Those 4 individuals passed with flying colors, 2 of which were immediately employed by local manufacturers. The other 2 are finishing up their terms and will have jobs waiting for them when they get out, right here in Waterbury. All 4 individuals are from the city of Waterbury. Today we have 7 folks who came by way of halfway houses that I talked to about Mr. Monte's programs. We go into Mary Lou O'Donnell, who is in the back and camera shy. She actually physically went into the halfway houses about 10 weeks ago, explained the programs to our clients there, and we got these individuals to sign up for the programs. They're here 8 weeks. They're doing remarkably well. They haven't missed a day. They're committed to these programs. And as important as that is, and I think this is the best part of the story, is we've built up a tremendous amount of credibility with our manufacturers here in the city of Waterbury. We have over 100 manufacturers that have been through this building and witnessed what's happening here over the last year to 18 months. This enables us to give these folks an opportunity for meaningful job opportunities. And this enables them to re-enter into society in a meaningful way, gives them incredible confidence, and also allows them to get back with their families in a way that's much more significant than they ever dreamt, in a very timely manner. So this program has been the earmark of Governor Malloy's initiatives to recognize that we have a second chance society that, quite frankly, needs and deserves a second chance, and that's what this is all about here today. Without further ado, Governor Daniel Malloy.
Thanks. Thank you, Mayor. Hey, listen, it's great to be here. The mayor pulled me aside, I think about 4 weeks ago, and said, you got to come see this program, and I let it be known to my office that I very much wanted to see it. It is Waterbury, one of our communities, taking on head-on an issue that they're confronting. That is actually 2 issues. A shortage of trained personnel to work in the tool and die manufacturing end, and quite frankly, the other side being that a number of folks who have not previously found long-term employment because they lacked a skill set, developing a skill set. It makes sense. It's a win-win situation. People are going to make mistakes. They are going to be incarcerated for periods of time during their lifetime. What you want that to happen is only once, not twice, not 3 times, not 5 times, particularly at a cost of about $168 a night. We don't want it to happen on an ongoing basis. We now know that there are programs that will work, that will get people jobs, that will fill unfulfilled employment opportunities, and will allow people to live a good, decent life, supporting themselves and their family. Let me be very clear. Advanced Manufacturing Connecticut pays a lot of money You go to work for Sikorsky or Pratt & Whitney or any of the suppliers, there's a good life to be had with good benefits and good outcomes for the employee themselves, for the employer, as well as the family of the employee. And so being able to come down here and talk about how do we turn this around in a state and in a nation where for so long we became so addicted to permanent punishment that we didn't notice we were cutting off our own noses to spite our face. What we've got to be involved in is helping people reform. We've got to be just as involved in permanent reformation as we were previously involved in permanent punishment. That's the way to ease the burden on ourselves. That's the way to make sure that lives are being lived as well as they possibly can be. That's the way to reunite families. That's the way to keep people out of jail. That's what we're trying to do in the state of Connecticut. We've gone from being behind the curve to ahead of the curve, so much so that a community like Waterbury came together to do this program on their own. That's a real plus. I know that both Commissioner Scotts get it, and we've got to work together to make sure that more programs like this are designed and built. This is the second time that we've, just in the last few weeks, been in facilities that are anxious, or employers using a facility like this that are anxious to employ people coming out of the criminal justice system if it meets their need. And that's what we've got to do. And by the way, there are other people here who aren't coming out of that system as well. So I'm mixing the two, but there is a reality. And then finally, it's not every day that you meet a 94-year-old instructor who is over there, and we had a conversation about the old Bridgeport machines that are on this side of the complex. But he reminded me something that all of us who serve in government, or everyone who serves in the legislature should remember. At 94 years old, you never stop learning. As a legislator, as a governor, as even a reporter. I won't be as hard on reporters as Donald Trump was yesterday. Wow. Even reporters learn something new every day. With that, I'll take some questions on point, and then if there's others, I'll take questions after that.
How much of the 15 million savings that you had in the budget is still there after this compromise?
The vast majority. I think the whole thing. If we were able to do bail reform and get the kinds of results that we were planning, that's where the majority of the savings would come from most rapidly. We have, last time I checked, 343 people. I don't know what the updated number was, but that number goes up seasonally, who are incarcerated, awaiting trial. In one case on bail as low as $90. You sent me the document. I actually read it. I went up and down the document. There was someone being held in the Women's Correction Facility on $90. It cost us $168 a night to keep that person there. There were a bunch at $250, by the way. There were a bunch at $250. One for today for $1.
Can you tell us what? So you announced yesterday that after meeting with Democratic leadership over the weekend that you were going to drop the aspect dealing with the juvenile offender age. Why?
Well, because they told me that, and they've been saying that they can't get it done. And quite frankly, I have to tell you the truth. We're making more progress than I thought was possible in a 2-year period of time. And if we can do the bail side of this thing, that's progress in and of itself. We shouldn't have people in jail simply because they're poor. 90% of people who get arrested leave that day or the very next day on bail or a promise to appear. The only people who are being, I shouldn't say the only, the vast majority of people who are being held in jail today are being held because they're poor. Not because of the offense, but because they're poor. When somebody's held at $1, or somebody's held at $90, or somebody's held at $250, or somebody's held at $500, they're being held because they're poor.
Governor, the Republicans say that based on the data that they've obtained from the judicial branch, that 60% of people would not qualify for no bail under the governor, who would qualify for no bail. 77% of the people, I have no idea what they're saying.
Yeah, they don't either. So it's all right. They're as confused as you are.
I think they want to tighten the language, and they would like to see more details, and they feel that it's too broad with some of the...
You know what? This is a game that's being played, okay? Just put this in your story. 90% of people who get arrested leave that day or the next day on bail. That's the reality. For the very same things that they say they want to tighten it up for, people are leaving. 90% of the people arrested for those things are leaving that day. All I'm trying to get at is the people who are simply being held in jail at a cost of $168 a day who can't make the bail. That's it. This is not about the offense that's so different. Listen, if a judge sets $150,000 or $1 million bail, I'm not trying to get somebody out of jail for who's on $1 million bail. And everything that we're doing in this package says it's up to the judge. If the judge finds that the person is a threat to themselves or to the community, they can still set bail. But do you think it makes sense to have somebody in the women's prison for $90, or somebody in a jail for or $1, or for $250? When we have, Republicans are constantly talking about making structural change. Look at the structural change that my administration has brought about. Have the lowest crime rate in 50 years. We have a dropping prison population. We have dropping recidivism. We put all of those things together. Republicans opposed raising the age for 16 and 17-year-olds, broadly opposed raising the age for 16 and 17-year-olds. Look what we've done. We've lessened the population of youthful offenders in our jails by 52%. At the same time that we have the lowest crime rate in 50 years. Good public policy, good criminal justice policy, and systemic change in budgetary policy go hand in hand. And that's what we're trying to get to. On top of which, let me just go back one thing and then I'll come back to you, if you've deciphered it.
I have.
Okay. The studies are there. Someone who is separated from their family because they're in jail for as short a period as 8 to 14 days has substantially different outcomes than someone who isn't in that situation. Which is a way of saying that if you have somebody in your family who posts bail for you for $250, your outcome is likely to be substantially better than it would be for the person who's held on $250.
I don't think they're disagreeing with that. I think they want to see more specifics on the misdemeanors, and they feel that some are on there that shouldn't be.
Then they should say that no one gets bail for them, okay? But they're not saying that. They're not saying that. They're saying that somebody gets bail and they get it posted because they have the resources to do it, but somebody, because it's one of those crimes, doesn't get out. Listen to me. 90% of people arrested get out of jail. So what we're talking about is, does it make sense to punish ourselves by incarcerating people who but for $1, $90, $150, $200, less than $2,000 is incarcerated? Does it make sense? They say they want to save money. This costs us $58,000 a day based on the numbers that we're running now. It goes up to about $75,000 a day at other times of the year.
They're saying that convicted felons, they're saying that 60% of the people who this would apply to, so 60% of the people who would get out with no bail are convicted felons.
90% of the people who would get out for the same charge get out every day. Just make them deal with that reality, will you? Make them deal with it. 90%. What we're talking about is 10%. Do you get my point?
You get that, yeah.
Okay.
So tomorrow the bill's going to come up in the House. Republican leadership is saying they haven't even seen a copy of draft of this bill.
Listen, I don't know what they've seen, to tell you the truth. I don't know how to answer that. They know what they've been calling. Just let me say something. They've been calling for it to be divided. Last week they called it to be divided. You reported 2 weeks ago that they called for it to be divided. Now it's divided, and they found another way to be against it. This after I had meetings with Republican leaders where they told me they were for bail reform. You got them on record saying they're for bail reform. But bail reform that keeps somebody in jail because they're poor, when you acknowledge that you're going to let somebody out for bail on as little as $1, $90, or $250, is not bail reform. It's what they're trying to do is have their cake and eat it too. I think you need to talk to the General Assembly. I would have passed it. And I think, I think we already did raise the age. This is the amazing thing about Connecticut right now. We raised the age. We took 16 and 17-year-olds out of the adult system. And lo and behold, our youthful population in jail is 52% lower. If you look at people who are incarcerated over the age of 25, 75% of them were incarcerated before the age of 21. We have reduced that population by 52%. You know what that predicts? Substantially lower crime in Connecticut in the future. This is about good public policy, and some of it, unfortunately, is about politics. Last one.
Look, it is about politics.
Sure.
It's easy to say that you're not being tough on crime. So how do the Democrats get over that?
Listen, I'm over it. I don't think being stupid about crime is the same thing as being tough about crime. I was a prosecutor. I tried 23 felony cases. I had convictions in 22 of those cases. I presented over 250 cases to grand juries. I investigated cases for 18 months. I'm tough on crime. I'm tough on crime.
Are you confident there will be a vote tomorrow?
Are you confident there'll be tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, we'll see. All right, thanks everybody.
Thank you, Governor. Oh, perfect. I loved it. Thank you, everybody. Governor, I just want to recognize Kathy Awad from the Northwest Regional Workforce Board, and also Superintendent Kathleen Willett is here. And again, thank you to both of our commissioners for being here. Without their support, these programs really could not continue forward. So thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Did you meet our new candidate for Celine's chair? Oh, Wendy. Wendy's running.
So, Wendy, that's the Wendy. Okay,
Yeah.
good for you.
Yeah.
You've been knocking on the door right now.
I have
All right,
already.
all right,
You did
working
that
it.
several times.
We want you to do that.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, good. Thank you.
And thank you for doing that. That makes sense.
Oh, yeah. All right, hang in there, okay? Anything I can do? No, I'm fine. So you're gonna show me around?
Yeah, come on. Let's go.
How this all works. How you
So
doing?
I'm doing well. They just came in and met with us last week.
Yeah, that's what they're telling me. Hey, John, you trained him? You trained him?
Absolutely.
Good to see you. How you been? Good. Pretty good. Good job.
Yes. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Hey, how you doing?
Fred works there too, Governor. Fred Sorcinelli.
So, what do you do, Fred?
Technical coordinator.
Okay.
Work with Mary Lou.
Okay. Yeah.
Why don't you guys show the governor around, introduce him to some of the guys? I especially want him to meet our 94-year-old instructor.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Oh, I know. Yeah, she got so cool. Couple days after sometimes I'm cool. This guy don't mess
Hey, how are you, Dan Malloy? Here, do this one. There you go. How's that, all right? Okay. You're figuring it out, huh?
Show the product.
Yeah. How long have you been in the program? 2 months. How's it going? Yeah. So you did it on that machine, or what machine did you? I did it on that mill. Oh, you did on that one. Okay. All right. Okay. From that to aircraft parts. So from that to aircraft parts. All right.
Mary Lou, why don't you take the governor over this side?
Got some good equipment.
Gentlemen.
How are This one? Oh, okay. That's yeah. No, I know. Yep. All right. Good to see you. Sorry to
Thank you.
Are you guys holding it for Jackson?
I do it in a heartbeat. I
people come in a class, basically?
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
So
Okay.
a cohort of about 20 individuals, and they stay from 12 to 15 weeks, and you do 440 hours.
Okay. And then on to work. All right, wait. All right, good for you. Hang in there.
in Waterbury.
Yeah.
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 They're, you know, the stampers, the tool and die guys.
This here is the most endearing component of the entire operation. This here is Frank Roy.
Hi.
He's a teacher here.
How are you, Frank? Nice to be with you. Dan Malloy. Yeah.
He is a substitute instructor here.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, God bless.
94 years old.
That's good. That's good.
Hi, Frank.
Great.
How are you?
Good to
This
see
is
you.
Mayor O'Leary.
How are you? Nice to see you.
You learned on these machines?
Well, same thing, but not the exact one.
Yeah.
But I'm still learning. You never finish learning.
I agree. I agree.
94.
Nice to be with you, sir.
Same
Thank you
here.
for what you do.
That's great.
Thanks.
Okay, this here is the tool room.
Uh-huh. Hey.
Hey, see again.
Hey, guys. Good, how are you?
Students here.
What's up,
Got
fellas?
an old Bridgeport, huh?
Hey, Governor Malloy.
Hi, how are you? Good.
Good, good.
It's an honor to meet you. There you go. Come on. Let's call that a caterer's handshake.
Why don't you explain to Governor what you guys are up to?
Like I mentioned before, we're making an ashtray, so right now we're just going to mill the end, so put the cigarette. This is the finishing
look of what he's
doing.
Oh, okay. Very good.
That's the finishing look.
And then when you're done with that, give up smoking.
Yeah, I don't smoke. I just did it for somebody that's trying to tell them not to smoke. That's how I did it for them. Stop smoking.
All right.
Good
No,
for you.
but it's you got to learn. You got to make some products. Yeah. That's good. Good for you.
Before this experience, you guys have all been here about 8 weeks, 2 months, right?
Yeah.
Before this experience, any experience at all whatsoever in this kind of work?
No,
Good.
no.
Are you finding it?
I come from the automotive field.
You are. Okay, so you're in manufacturing and not too far apart. And we make a
Well, he
lot
was
of
repair
automotive
work.
parts here.
Is that
Oh,
what
you're
you were doing? He was doing
guy.
repair work.
Yeah. So it's good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. All right.
We're happy
Well,
to
thanks,
have
sir.
you guys here.
Keep up the good work.
Keep
Thanks.
up.
Get to work.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Good. My pleasure. So now,
Classroom's over here.
how long you did since you reinvigorated? How long is it?
2 years.
2 years ago.
And your placement rate is?
Placement rate is good with 65%. And by the way, those are the people that are still there. Right. We've had some that have come and didn't work out, but we placed everyone.
Okay.
Some last, some don't. 65% is a lot better than before. Right?
Yeah.
Pull over here.
Now, let me.
Each one of these,
Where are we going now?
each one of the individuals that come in here to in a different level.
Yeah.
We analyze them, we test them, we give them special programs, configuration for the ones that really show a motivation for learning. We also have classroom space here. This is blueprint reading class over here, which is very, you know.
Yeah. So traditional classroom. Yeah.
Right. Yep. There you go. Like the old days.
Yeah.
And here is our IT center. Very few of our students have had computer exposure. We give them basic exposure.
Hey.
These are CNC simulators.
Simulators. Oh.
Very important.
Hi.
This is Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Mark, come on over and meet the governor.
Hi, Dan Malloy. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So what are you working on?
I'm programming my plaque for my son's company, Leaping Lizards. Trying to program it in so I can cut it on the CNC machine.
Oh, wow. Pretty good. And then
Yeah, I'll just print it out on the computer and be able to reprint it over
reprint it over there.
Yep.
Good luck.
Thank
Mark,
you.
you've been with us for what, 8 weeks or so?
Yeah.
Okay. Before this, any exposure to any of this
No,
kind of thing?
no exposure at all. This is great.
Yeah.
A lot of experience on these.
Yeah.
Really helping out.
Did you think you were going to make it?
It was tough going through the math again, getting all involved in all the math and the angles, but now it's working great here.
Good. Good.
Good.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Very happy.
I haven't seen one of these. That's pretty good.
Yeah, so, you know, as I said, we're in the learning phases, the beginning phases.
See this. Yeah.
But as we build up the credibility with manufacturers, as we already have, they're going to start sending over equipment. Equipment that's more in tune with what their particular shops are producing. And we're going to set up curriculum. They're going to send instructors over through their shops. So we're going to start their public-private relationship in a more meaningful way than maybe any of us have.
Good.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty good. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, so we're pretty happy about it. All right.
Oh, you're going to help me, for God's sake. Come on, look at
keep going down. Well, I didn't mind. I'll do it from here. Here. All right.
Yeah, it's gotta come this way.
It's gotta go this way. I'll turn it. You tell me when.
Right there. No, go back. Right there.
Right there?
Yep.
All right, bring it back up. No, you're gonna have to. How long did you make that the handle?
It's a little bit less than 3 feet.